Good morning. You're watching Market Cafe on ET Now with me, Shreyansi Singh and Snehisha. And over the next 1 hour, we'll take you through news and updates from within the country as well as across the globe, tell you which stocks you should keep on your radar and tell you what the brokerages are saying as well. Lots to cover on the show, Snehi, but let's get started by looking at the international handover.
Absolutely. And Shreyansi, well, after being a couple of days in the red, Wall Street was back in the green. And how, right? Because a good run coming in on Wall Street yesterday when you look at it on an intraday basis, with stock futures inched down in an overnight trading after the major averages posted their first winning session in 3 days. And in extended trading, Victoria's Secret plunged 25% after posting mixed quarterly results and issuing disappointing guidance. Now, all major averages finished higher yesterday following back-to-back losing sessions. The S&P 500 rose 0.5%, Nasdaq added about 0.6%, and Dow gained nearly 76 points or 0.2% uptick coming in over there also. Now, 9 of the 11 major S&P sectors finished higher, led to the upside by the utilities. At one point, New York Community Bank Corp tumbled more than 40% during yesterday's session, but it finished with a 7.5% gain, so a quite volatile session for that one after announcing a $1 billion capital raise. Now, Apple continued to fall. It fell for a 6th consecutive day, bringing its weekly losses to nearly 6%. Investors monitored the first of Fed Chair Powell's appearances on Capitol Hill this week for more insight on the path ahead of the interest rate cuts. As we move ahead in the show, we'll tell you exactly what the Fed Chair has said in his appearance at the Capitol. But Wall Street is also on the lookout for the latest jobless claims data and trade balance and consumer credit data for January. This comes ahead of February's closely watched jobs report that's slated Friday morning, and earnings from Broadcom, Costco, Wholesale and Kroger are still on the deck. So, well, on the back of that, quite a decent show coming in from Wall Street. Let's shift focus and let's talk about European markets, because a rather good show coming in from Europe as well. A sea of green across my screen when I look at it, and European markets bounced back to close higher yesterday as investors in the UK digested the 2024 budget statement. The Pan-European Stock 600 provisionally closed with an uptick of 0.4%, with most sectors and major bosses in the positive territory. Tech stocks climbed 1.3%, so those were the real winners in yesterday's trading session, with the sector also powering gains stateside, while media stocks, they fell 0.5%. Now, the UK budget was presented by British Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt and contained announcements on the abolition of the non-domicile tax status as well as a reduction in national insurance as well. So, on the back of this, FTSE was up 0.5%, and when we look at other European indices, DAX up 0.1%, CAC 40 up 0.3%, and Stock 600 up 0.4%. So, mild gains coming in, but gains nonetheless, Shreyansi. And when we talk about an uptick, that's what we've seen on crude as well, right? 1% jump coming in on the back of Jerome Powell's comments. So take us to what's happening with oil.
Absolutely. And like you said, it has been a day of gains for crude as well. When you look at crude oil futures, they rose, and that was as Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell indicated that interest rates will likely come down this year, though the central bank is moving cautiously. So when you look at the WTI contract, that gained 1.2%, settled around that $79 a barrel mark. And when you look at Brent as well, that added 1.1%, settled around that $82 a barrel mark. Now, Powell told the House Financial Services Committee that the Fed needs to see a little more data before moving on rates. And more on that later, but US commercial crude stockpiles, when you look at them closely, they rose by 1.4 million barrels last week. According to data from the EIA, the inventory buildup is down substantially from prior weeks as refineries process more crude into finished products. Now, oil prices have been creeping higher this year, booking 2 consecutive months of gains as OPEC Plus has slashed production, and geopolitical tensions as well continue to simmer in the Middle East. Now, when you look at gold as well, gold rallied to a record, building on stellar momentum driven mostly by bets for US monetary easing. While when you look at auto catalyst palladium, that has seen quite the move coming in. That popped back above the $1,000 mark for the first time since Jan 12. So that's largely the handover coming in from commodities.
Well, with that, let's take a look at all the important cues that you need to be watching out for. Lots of macroeconomic data coming in globally from the US. We'll have the Beige Book coming in. Jobless claims data will be coming in. We did get one set of that data, but more will be expected as well. And the trade data will be coming in as well. Eurozone then, we just saw the ECB rate decision, and the ECB rate decision will be coming today. We did see the Bank of England rate decision come, so we'll see how that pans out. And trade balance coming in from China as well. Let's just focus back home, talk about some corporate action. Manorama Industries will be undergoing a stock split today in the ratio 1:5, so watch out for that stock. Today is the last day to buy Sanofi India to be eligible for their dividend. National Housing Bank will be floating bonds over 2,000 crore rupees, and the Government of India interest payment will also be taking place today. Let's talk about what's happening in the primary markets. Some action coming in from there as well. Mukka Proteins IPO will be making its debut on D Street today. And today is the last day to subscribe to the JG Chemicals IPO. Lock-in period is ending for Sami Hotels, 3% equity coming out of lock-in today. And when you look at other events, PM Modi is going to continue the slew of visits that he's been doing across the country. And today he is going to be in Srinagar. Joe Biden will be delivering State of the Union address as well. So, well, important stuff and a lot of important commentary and important data points to watch out for. So, well, these are all the cues that you need to be paying attention to in today's trading session.
Absolutely.